of where we are today, what we've done this last year, and what we are up to tomorrow, and teaser for some other talks coming up tomorrow. Roughly, here's our team: our fearless leader, our researcher slash startup of FunkX, this compute, Kyle, jack of many trades slash thank you, professor, and then the rest of us who do a bunch of coding. And I took off Ben's name because he says, I don't care. So Ben Clifford as well, and lots of people. Let's see. What have we done since last we met? Multi-user endpoints, yes. I won't talk about them because tomorrow Reed will talk about them, but they're kind of cool. In short, kind of cool. You can have multiple users use a single endpoint administered by an administrator or a regular user. We'll get to that later. Oh yes, we have packaging now, kind of in the same mental thought process for us as multi-user endpoints. You can install us with your native dev or RPM of choice. Instructions online slash Reed will get that tomorrow. We've got some encrypted endpoint worker communication, which is kind of cool. We've got encryption from when the SDK talks to our web services. We've got encryption between our web services to the endpoint. We don't have encryption, didn't have encryption until Reed again put it into parcel land. Now that's by default. Is that a question? Nope, I'm just hearing something. Okay. And parcel land now. So that's good. That's a notes. Talk into the microphone. I'll just hold on to it. Is that better? Okay. This is a big one. I think I saw mentioned recently, or one of the other talks. What is it? MPI support. Yes, thank you. I think Yadu's put that in recently in Parcel, and we've got some support in Globus land. That was fun. I'll leave it at that. Y'all will probably talk about it tomorrow. Is that right? Yes. And this was more of a background in web services, just improving the performance of what does the shunting of results, and once the endpoint is done, it puts up to our web services, and we've got to put it somewhere like you want, so you can get it at your SDK executor. That is also lots of fun to implement, minutia, details, etc. Plus the other bits that no one cares about, but everyone cares about, of reducing memory and polishing the user experience and so forth. Things like what was a good example? The reduction of memory of the executor. Man, coming up all stars today. The executor sharing of resources internally, and I'll leave it at that because it's kind of minutia and boring. But yes. Okay, so digging a little bit more into user endpoints. Again, we'll discuss that tomorrow. What's cool there is this templatable configuration, and that is just kind of cool. You can have something set up by an administrator, somebody who's administrator, and figuring things like you don't need your users to know that you've got a Slurm set up or PBS Pro or Torque. You can do that. Only thing the user can put in is something like the account ID or the wall timer, how many nodes they want, and goes on from there. Again, we'll talk about this tomorrow, so I'm not going to give too much away at the moment. What else do we have? There you go. It's teaser. I've already mentioned this briefly. Dev and RPM. This is great. You can go also on our documentation. So no one's going to read those slides or those instructions. I mentioned this. Yeah, it's an optional thing. We mentioned it, but it is on by default. Requires the Globus Compute engine as opposed to the other thread-pool process flow, but the Globus Compute engine, which is a pass-through for the high-throughput executor parcel. So Globus Compute engine is really just parcel high-throughput executor, and by default, it's on when using Globus. What else do I have here? I mentioned MPI support just briefly. Yeah, I'm not going to go far into this one, but Yadu. Where's my? Here we go. Already mentioned this verbally a minute ago. There's the teaser, that one. Yay! Mentioned this one already. Man, I kind of jumped the gun earlier on these. Yeah, mentioned that already. Let's see, going. Yeah, async was a big one. That was part of what we did. But you don't care, I care, we care, you care. It's more throughput. Okay. And now what's next coming up? We are working in the middle of high assurance support. So those of you who use Globus, HA is a thing. Again, not too far into this, but things like enforcement encryption of the parcel workload using Globus Compute engine as opposed to just optional. Now using HA, you can do things like make sure it's enforced at the endpoint realm, especially in the multi-user endpoints. We are in the middle of working how to do HA through Globus flows. We don't know. We're still researching what that looks like. Audit logging we even discussed this morning in our internal meeting of another detail for HA of making sure that you know what your users are doing if you're administrating a remote user endpoint. Oh yes, requiring multi-factor authentication. Another fund we're working through, but that may come somewhat for free through Globus Off. General API improvements. Yeah, upgrading the action providers. So I think I'm gonna let Lay. Are you talking about tomorrow? No, you're not. Okay, well, no, I'll leave that as a teaser for now, but go in there. This is a big one. We're going to be working on moving toward integrating with Globus SDK. So you have Globus and you get some API with Globus SDK. And you can also install additionally with the Globus SDK also the compute side of it and more tight integration coming at some point, not today. And again, look for Josh tomorrow. For those what's upcoming, I won't go in details there because thank you, Josh. And that's it.